Raoul Paul says he's taking out of gold and all in Bitcoin and ETH. I think Bitcoin eats up the gold market. Lorenzo, I agree, man. I agree that the thing about gold and Bitcoin, right, is that they're the same fucking thing, right? They're the same thing. One's digital, one's virtual. Sorry, one's digital, one's physical. And the way gold trades, when you look at it on a higher time frame, on the monthly scale, because it's been such a long-term asset. Let me get rid of these dots 1 second. Basically, let's just cut to the chase. So you see these big bear and bull cycles. You see there's a bear to bull cycle here, right? That's like Bitcoin going to 20K. So this is like Bitcoin went to 20K, back to 3.7K. So it went, and you see that gold likes to correct in its history, right? Let me go on the measuring tool. Gold likes to do massive corrections below its moving averages of like 80, that's 30%. And all the way through its history, it can even do pullbacks of 50% as well. I've gone back in history and I've looked at it. So Bitcoin so gold likes to rally and go back down 30 to 40%. And this chart here of gold going up is very similar to how Bitcoin trades. You know, it basically creates triangles, loads of triangles, ascending triangles, descending triangles. This whole run here, it came bullish into a triangle, bullish into a triangle, bullish into a triangle. You got deviations on every single level, obviously bullish deviations. And the way gold trades is super simple. It's very similar to the way Bitcoin's going to trade. But obviously, Bitcoin's such a small market, it's difficult to see. When you look at gold, so when you look at gold, I'm going to let me go on the gold chart. These micro cycles, so what that is there for gold is what this is for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's just playing out one of those micro cycles. So yeah, what we're saying is that I think that Bitcoin, gold's always going to have a place in the market because gold doesn't rely on anything to be money. Gold literally will be money whether you like it or not. And it's been money for thousands of years, and gold is money, everything else is credit. The new thing to say will be gold and Bitcoin are money and everything else is credit, because fiat currency isn't money, doesn't have store of value, it hasn't got a fixed or scarce supply. For money to be money, it has to have a fixed or scarce supply. If the asset has a fixed or scarce supply, it means it has store of value, because then it can retain its purchasing power relative to other assets which don't have a fixed or scarce supply. So if something is inflated every year, if something gets inflated every year, the relative purchasing power of Bitcoin, for instance, and also you got to remember that Bitcoin's money, because it's portable, durable, divisible, fungible, has store of value, and then it's also malleable, and there's a whole host of properties which something needs to be money. And the more of the properties it has, the more likely it is for people to use it as money over a long period of time. So gold, the reason people use gold over thousands of years more than anything else is just because gold has had more of the properties than anything else. And over a long period of time, the free market and natural selection, in a way, it's almost like nature, the natural ability for humans to suss out what's good as money and what isn't good as money, it will just act as money more than it doesn't, right? So that's the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not as old, so it's a newer asset, but Bitcoin has all of those properties, but most of them better in a digital world. So if the world is getting more and more digital, and a heavy metal like gold isn't set up for that transaction, because at the end of the day, there's no way of sending a bar of gold to someone else in the world instantly. There's no way of doing that. But Bitcoin, when the transactions are happening quite fast, it can basically happen. You can move billions of dollars for $2 almost instantly. Obviously, there's going to be a slight delay. It depends on the day with the miners. But think about it. Everyone's got their phone in their pocket. Everyone's got their laptop in front of them. Everything's going online. So Bitcoin's going to eat some of the gold market, definitely. And also with Bitcoin, when you send Bitcoin to somebody else, you actually send them the Bitcoin. When you send gold to somebody else, firstly, if you wanted to send the actual gold, it's going to take weeks. You're going to have to put it in the post or a massive system to send it over. But if you're sending an IOU or a IOU of gold, like a certificate of gold, you don't actually have sovereignty over that asset. And you actually never know what happens on the other end. You got to rely on someone else. So I think that kind of answers your question there, brother. Rambled on.